Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Litter Media Live. This is for Friday, November 21st of 2025. I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon. Dan Ramey is on assignment, and Aaron will talk about that assignment here in just a little bit on our daily topics. It was foggy this morning.
Was it? I saw that some schools had a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, it seems like when we've had these foggy mornings this fall, it's been in the western part of the Scioto Valley because they've had a number of delays over in that area where maybe city schools and some of the rural schools here in Ross County, Pickaway County have it. I think Adena and Miami Trace were the only ones that I was aware of in this area on 2-hour delays. But Miami Trace Elementary School ended up closing for the day because they had some kind of a power outage there. The high school was in session, but Miami Trace Elementary was not. So that's the way that went this morning. Rain is expected, as far as our forecast, by mid to late afternoon today, Friday, and that'll continue into the early morning Saturday, and then we're expecting some partly sunny skies maybe as early as Saturday afternoon. Highs today and tomorrow 52. Look for some sunshine most of the day on Sunday with a high 54. Then clouds Monday 54. Rain back in the picture again on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So, of course, next week is a week, next Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Right.
I can't believe it's here already. So a lot of people are starting to buy the fixins for Thanksgiving.
What do you think about turkey?
I love turkey.
Really?
But, I eat deli turkey, at the sub shops and stuff like that. But as far as a whole turkey, I think once a year is all that I ever eat it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It's too dry.
Well, if it's prepared correctly, it shouldn't be too dry. So you just need to get somebody that knows how to cook that bird.
Well, I apologize to my family then for saying that. I hear exactly what you're saying. I've had some turkey that was a little bit on the dry side, but I've had some that was primo. So hopefully you're getting the primo edition this year. When we come back, we'll talk about all of the beneficial news that you can use. That's all ahead here on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We talk about, the 4+ decades that they've been around, but let's talk a little bit about their service with the sale that is today. Tom White, Michael Linton, they have always been conscientious about making sure their customers get the service after the sale, because that's what keeps you coming back. And speaking as a customer of Accurate's for many, many years, I can say that they do a tremendous job with the service. If you're looking for residential or business work in heating, cooling, and plumbing, give Accurate a call.
At Tomlinson Insurance, we've been protecting families, farms, and businesses since 1853. From auto, home, farm, life, or health, we tailor coverage that fits your world. With multiple carriers to meet your insurance needs. Real people, real service, local agents who can answer the phone and care when it matters most. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call or stop by today.
The Pike County Career and Technology Center provides hands-on, skilled trades training with engaging curriculums and endless possibilities. From automotive technology, carpentry, business management, to culinary arts and interactive media. From electricity, welding, HVAC, engineering, and medical technology, to pre-nursing, basic food service, and public safety. We're preparing our youth for America's workforce through today's technology. To learn more about Pike County CTC, visit pikectc.org.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Make sure you get your day started off right with beneficial news that you can use by checking out our website at littermedia.com. Check out the nav bar across the way. You know, people keep asking, how do we find high school scores? Well, over the last week or so, there's not been all that many, but we're going to tell you why you need to get back to that score page here in just a little bit on sports, all coming up. But yeah, check our website out at littermedia.com. At the top of the news today.
Yeah, first we want to tell you about some road closures that will be in place tonight for Shine On Chillicothe's holiday tree and park lighting event at 6 o'clock. Paint Street from Water Street to 2nd Street will be closed, and then Water Street from the Rooftop Bistro and Bar all the way to the fire department will be closed. And that's just to keep everybody safe that's going to be at this event later tonight. Shine On Chillicothe. They're going to have the tree lighting. All the downtown businesses will be open. Dan and I will be there with a photo album and a video for your viewing pleasure. If you can't make it tonight, we'll have those out sometime over the weekend. And it's going to be a fun time.
You think you can get an exclusive with this guy?
I think we've talked to Santa in the past, so we'll see.
You got to catch him. He's the guy that turns the light on, isn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He has a big red button that he presses, and then the tree lights up.
Yeah, the first year that they did this, I think I was talking a little bit about that earlier this week. It was right after COVID, and it was the first time in the downtown that they had a big event like that, and it was like people were getting reacquainted with one another. It was such a neat experience as to crowded streets, yes. But
it feels like a Hallmark movie.
It really does.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rain will hold off long enough tonight to get all of that taken care of, and then it can do its business. Adena Health has announced that all three of its critical access hospitals, which are Adena Fayette Medical Center and Washington Courthouse, Adena Greenfield Medical Center, and Adena Pike Medical Center in Waverly, have all three earned the 2025 Performance Leadership Awards from the Chartis Center for Rural Health. Now, Adena Greenfield and Adena Pike were recognized for excellence and quality that placed them among only 7 rural hospitals in Ohio to earn that distinction. Adena Fayette Medical Center was honored for its excellence in outcomes, one of just 19 hospitals in Ohio to achieve that level of recognition. These awards place Adena's critical access hospitals in the top 25% of rural hospitals in the nation.
Congratulations.
That's big stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Adena.
Amanda Clearcreek School District will host a ribbon cutting and open house at 3 p.m. tomorrow to show off their new athletic field house, athletic storage building, and expansions in their K through 2nd grade building. That's all happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. at Amanda Clearcreek.
They've got some hot cider, coffee, and cookies. But I was talking to both their superintendent and treasurer here just a couple of weeks ago, and they said this is really a neat facility, this new athletic facility they've got. So even if you're not from Amanda Clearcreek, go on up there and get some cookies and cider and take the tour. I think you'll be impressed. I'm sure that if your kids are playing ball up there at some time or another, you're going to see some of these facilities. And you'll wonder, I wonder what that is. Well, if you go up tomorrow to the open house, you can see firsthand. Also, just a reminder that the Medicare Open Enrollment is ending soon. All Medicare recipients have until December 7th to review their coverage, make any changes you want to do, and ensure that you're receiving the full benefits available to you. And again, the deadline, that's December the 7th. Now, before I turned 65, I'd hear these commercials every year, and I just, one ear and out the other. Well, now that I'm there, you got to pay attention to this kind of stuff. Now, you don't have to change the gap insurance that you have, But this is the opportunity to do that if you want to find something a little bit more comprehensive, maybe even a little bit cheaper. But again, December 7th is the enrollment deadline. Good news for those of us that like to get out on Bridge Street. According to Matt Bruning of the Ohio Department of Transportation, now all 3 lanes of traffic should be open in both directions on North Bridge through the remainder of this calendar year. Construction will resume starting in January. Now, when I came into town this morning, the northbound lane was still 1 lane instead of 3. But what they were doing, they were cleaning some of the whatever they were doing to the Bridge Street Bridge. I think once they've got that sprayed off, it'll be open sometime later today. So we don't want to make Matt into a fibber. I just wanted to say, yeah, it was 1 lane northbound, but we expect that'll be open 3 lanes sometime later today if it hasn't already done so in the last 2 hours. Some stuff happening in sports on the local, state, and national scene. We'll tell you all about that coming up on Litter Media Live.
But first, we want to tell you about the Skag clearance sale, which is still going on right now. And the prices are so low down there, you're going to think they've lost their minds. You can choose from a wide selection of Skag mowing equipment, but you'd better hurry, because once clearance inventory is gone, it's gone, and the low prices with them. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Do yourself a favor and call Hometown Motors at 740-773-8826 for more information. Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the great outdoors.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
And we'll tell you all about who this week's Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union, is at the end of sports.
All right, we jump into sports. We were kind of teasing this a little bit earlier that the girls' high school basketball season tips off around the state of Ohio tonight. Tonight's the first night that they can play regular season games. And if you check out our Haynes Total Healthcare Center high school scoreboard later tonight, you will find scores on the following games. Unioto travels to Miami Trace. Adena's at Leesburg Fairfield. Fairfield Union at Southeastern, Piketon at Waverly, Westfall at Washington Courthouse, Paint Valley's at McLean, Liberty Union at Northridge, and Marietta at Newcomerstown. Now, that's not the only thing that's going on tonight. High school playoff football continues. The Division IV Region 15 Regional Championship has New Lexington taking on Indian Valley. Now, New Lex is the team that beat Unioto last week. Yeah. And in Division 5, Region 19, that's Wheelersburg against Nelsonville York. I'm pretty sure both of those teams are 12-0. So the winners of those games, along with other regional finals around the state tonight, will be heading to the state Final Four. Good luck.
Yeah. The University of Rio Grande placed 4 players on the 2025 River States Conference Women's Volleyball All-Conference teams recently announced by league officials. Junior right side hitter Kelly Stewart of Waverly was named to the first team. And they did the same thing with soccer to the 2025 River States Conference Women's Soccer All-Conference teams, which were recently announced by league officials. Senior midfielder Carmen Morris of Lancaster was among those mentioned on the first team in soccer.
So congratulations to those ladies. Ohio State men basketball rolled up a 91-58 victory last night over the Broncos of Western Michigan. Chillicothe's Brandon Knoll had 8 points in the Buckeye victory. And also, Chillicothe's Trey Beard had 22 points in a Cleveland State loss to Valparaiso earlier this week. The Vikings are back in action tomorrow at Kent State.
The Columbus Blue Jackets edged Toronto 3-2 in the score from Thursday. Where are they at tonight?
They're off tonight.
Off tonight.
But that was an overtime win last night. Cleveland Cavaliers are hosting the Pacers this evening. And Logan's Mike Kittinger will be honored by the Ohio Basketball Coaches Association at this year's state basketball tournaments in Dayton. So that's going to be in March. Mike has worked 26 years covering high school sports through such platforms as Southeast Ohio Sports Prep, Ohio Preps, and JJ Huddle. So congratulations to Mike Kittinger out of Logan, Ohio. I'm going to let you handle this one.
All right.
This week.
Well, we want to announce our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And this week, it's none other than Jack Welch. We salute Unyota football receiver Jack Welch, who in last week's playoff loss caught 6 passes for 95 yards and returned a kickoff 92 yards for a touchdown. His offensive production for the game totaled 187 yards. Congratulations, Jack Welch.
Not bad. Not bad. He's pointing at Aaron saying, hey, get my picture right.
He was actually pointing and saying, hey, that's the first down.
Jack's a great kid. He is a great kid, loves the Lord, and he's a pretty good athlete too. Good on the basketball floor and good in center field on that state Final Four baseball team from last year. When we come back, we're going to talk about spinning some wax, kind of, from 1959. That's coming up next on This Date in History.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane, online propane monitoring and reporting. Know your home's consumption and gas remaining in the tank. Find out more at litterpropane.com.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance, on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com. All right, we are back. And we always finish it up with a little history tidbit. The guy that is credited with coining the phrase rock and roll on the radio, Alan Freed, on this date in 1959 is fired by WABC Radio because Freed refused to swear that he never received what was called payola for playing music on the air. Freed, credited with popularizing rock and roll when he was on the radio in Cleveland, Ohio, became mainstream R&B disc jockey, pled guilty to commercial bribery 3 years later. Now, what payola is, because if you're in radio broadcasting, you still have to take tests on this for your broadcast company to make sure you're not doing it. What record companies were doing, they were paying the disc jockeys to play their songs. That's illegal. You can't do that. Even to this day, you cannot do that. And Alan got in trouble with that. He was one of many popular disc jockeys across the country that got into trouble with that. This was mostly in the mid to late 1950s. Some of it carried over in the early 60s. But Alan Freed, fired by WABC radio on this date in 1959 due to a payola scandal. When you were in college, did you learn about that? You worked for a college radio station.
I knew what payola was. I don't think we learned about this specific.
Yeah. You didn't have anybody slipping your money under the table. Hey, Aaron, play this record for me.
We had a library of contemporary Christian music, and we just picked from that.
You would hope that Christian radio wouldn't be doing that, but I wouldn't be shocked to find out that that's happened even there. By the way, we forgot to mention that the Ohio State Buckeye football team will be in action tomorrow. That is at home, the final regular season home game, because if they make it as a high seed in the playoffs, they could host, I think, the week 2 game. They get the bye. If they get a high seed, I think they would host in that week 1 bye scenario. So this is the last regular season game at home against Rutgers. And, of course, next week they go north to that team up there, and we're going to see if we can snap that losing streak we've got with that team up north. But that's a noon kickoff tomorrow for Rutgers against Ohio State. That'll cover it for us today. I'll be looking for Dan and Aaron tonight at Shine On Chillicothe. Get a shine on your face. Smile if the camera's pointing to you.
Yes.
Because
please,
you never know when visitors from other communities are going to be watching our videos and saying, what a friendly town. We want to come there.
We want to pour hundreds of tourism dollars into Chillicothe.
That's right. But it's not because Aaron's getting payola. We just want to be community people. So until tonight, have a great weekend, everybody, from all of us, for Aaron and myself and Dan Ramey, and from all of us at Litter Media Live. Have a great weekend, everybody. So long.